I really like it when stories are a bit more like stick it to the man. Hey kids, Jester here. Welcome back to the cut. This week I'm going to dive straight into the topic that has been suggested, challenged. Well, he used the word challenged, but this is more of a suggestion. It was by my good friend Lord X. He asked me to talk about a particular article. Now this article is all about how four game developers, designers decided to escape the realm of big name developers and dive into the world of indie gaming. The four people in question are, let me see if I can get their names right without checking the list that I've got down there. Rick Burton, Brian Chung, Avery Wong, and Kelvin Nishikawa. Did I get that right? Yeah, I got it right. Now X, I would talk about this article in detail as in actually having a discussion about the article itself. The problem is I don't know who these people are. Hey, no, I'm a gamer. No one can question that I'm a big fan of games. But asking me if I know the people who, you know, the names of the individuals involved in making a game is like asking... It's like asking somebody who really likes cake to explain every single ingredient that is involved in making it. My point being, I like games. I don't really care about who makes them as long as they're made well. I mean, obviously I like the company. The company's good. I'm getting beyond... way past the point here. The main thing I want to talk about in relation to this article is the way that these four developers, designers escaped the realm of big name companies, AAA companies who make big name games and purely for profit. Well, I'll say purely for profit. They don't always do it purely for profit. Obviously, that's a bit unfair of me to say. But as compared to indie developers, they obviously have a very different company line, the aim they're going for. Big corporations, big aim is money. Whereas with a lot of indie groups, yeah, they want money, but a lot of the indie groups are just really into making a good game. Now the comparisons in this is how a big corporation will make a game that people will want based on so many different opinions, surveys, ratings of other things in the media already, and they can often create these sort of mechanical, very easily slottable into this position kind of games like, oh, this is a sports game, oh, this is an adventure game, and you know that's what it is because it has all the same mechanics and all that kind of thing. Not knocking it, some of them are amazing, but it's very rare that you find something fantastic and innovating. Well, in technology, yes, because they have the ability and the money to do that kind of thing, but story sometimes lacks. And we all know I love a good story, and that's where the indie games come into it. Yes, they may have limited funds, possibly even limited ability and equipment to get exactly what they might have been going for in their heads. But even so, indie games, there's no denying that indie games, even as simple as they can be, Thomas Was Alone, Limbo, they can be just purely amazing because of art style, because of just the loving approach that was taken to it by a smaller team who knew exactly what they wanted to do and did it well. So to start off with, you've got that sort of imbalance. You have these people that know how to make a big scale game, lots of budget, lots of equipment, you've got access to all the right kind of engines and graphics, and all the people that work in big corporations who are at the top of their field and what they do, and yet they're limited by the constraints of what a big company wants. You know, they're given their project, possibly. Well, there are some exceptions. Obviously, Naughty Dog are very good at jumping out of the box. But people like EA, for example, they're very sort of make us a sports game and pump one out every year with a different roster on a team. There we go, that'll do. And then you have the indie groups where it's maybe limited budget, limited access to equipment and all that kind of stuff. And yet they come out with amazing things because without those other kind of distractions, I suppose you could look at it this way, they can concentrate on the aesthetics purely, you know, how beautiful it is, may not be amazing graphics. Again, Limbo, Minecraft and Terraria even possibly could use as examples in this. Maybe not the world's greatest graphics, but because of what they are, it works. And it becomes beautiful. Despite limitations you may want to impose, you know, based on whatever. And these 4 individuals, Brian, Barry? Nope, Rick. I think I got his second name somehow confused in there, Burton. Well, that's not even Barry either. Brian, Rick, Avery and Kelvin. These 4 people put it in a very, very good, succinct way in my opinion. They said that their reason for jumping from the AAA to the indie was the stifling. I can get that, I've already alluded to it in the terms of, you know, this big company tells you what they want you to make and that's what you make. If you're in the indie world, you can do what you want. And there's so many weird and wonderful things that just suddenly pop out of nowhere and become friggin' amazing. Sure, they might not have the same technical specifications, but they are beautiful, they are immersive, and I cannot stress this enough, story. And there's no doubting that 2013, the year that's just been and gone, was the year of the indie game. We saw some fantastic titles pop up during 2013, just amazing games. I think, let me see if I can list these off without accidentally sneaking a 2012 title in here. I don't like to write a script for this, I like to try and remember things properly. Hotline Miami, Violet, Shelter, Botanicula, Mark of the Ninja and They Bleed Pixels, they may have been 2012. Okay, so there's no denying that 2012 and 2013 were the years of the indie game. But still, my point stands. The indie games recently have just exploded, become this fantastic, just, what is the right word? They've become this champion within the gaming industry of just how, even if you don't have everything going for you, you can still make something that catches everybody's hearts, and if not hearts, at least attention. Now, in no small part, this is probably also very helped by Steam. I mean, we can't deny this. Steam is a fantastic platform for indie gamers or indie game developers, because you can just slap it up there and people buy it in the droves because you can put it down to like pretty decent prices, and especially during Steam sales. God, they are dangerous. So I'm not surprised that some pretty big names are going into this world. You know, it's looking like now indie games is the step forward. Indie games are the games of the future. So that Xbox One and PS4, psh, no, actually I really want an Xbox One and or a PS4. Because PC gaming with indie games right now is where it's at. And if more big name designers and developers and just builders of games are jumping from AAA to indie, I am looking forward to the future. That is, of course, unless these big AAA names start corrupting what indie is. Now, they probably won't, because the designers and developers themselves, they aren't the big corporations that do that kind of thing, but they bring certain ideas with them if they've been in a certain field for so long. You have that in the back of your head. You know, it's like when you get a new boss in whatever job you do and they decide to do this, that and the other differently, and you're used to this, and it's just not good. So hopefully nothing like that will happen. Hopefully these names will just bring their skills to the indie world as it exists already and just create some games. Maybe they'll work on their own, who knows, or, you know, pair up. As far as I understand, Avery Wong and Kelvin Nishikawa work together quite a bit anyway, I think. I may have misunderstood that in the article, but it seemed that's what they were driving at. So I'm looking forward to what the indie world may be becoming, or may be becoming. English, again, you wouldn't think it's my first tongue. I'm looking forward to seeing how they bring their skills into the indie world, given there's going to be less budget. Although they could increase their own budget if they've done that much during AAA. It's just there's so many possibilities, so many questions, and I don't know where to begin with them. All I can do is give you my opinions on where I think this is going, why this is happening, and what it means. It means freaking awesome. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what comes out of this partnership of AAA skill, I'll say that, and indie approach. Because that's the thing. So a lot of indie people do have skill, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say indie people aren't skilled, but there's no denying that the AAA guys have become AAA because they are skilled. And add that to the indie approach of good story, just great love of the game they're making without the stifling, which again is a word they used. Just imagine what kind of love children they will have. What am I doing? So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the indie world comes, and I think I've said that about 50 times already, but I'm really, really excited by this. So great challenge, X. I'm not sure it's a challenge so much as just a suggestion or a question, but yeah, And as ever, kidders, you've been awesome, I've been Jester. This has been The Court. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And also check out jesterconcessions.blogspot.co.uk, which I must actually apologise. I'm just remembering now that I didn't put a blaze up this Wednesday just gone. I was rather ill. But it will be continuing on Wednesday, and as I keep promising, the Hunters will be back soon as well. I promise soon. And I will see you through the week.